Right now, there are over 2 million Americans in their 60s who have saved $1 million or more for retirement. That's an incredible accomplishment. But here's the shocking part. Most of them are still making one mistake that could cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lifetime. It's not about how they invested. It's not even about how much they've saved. It's about what they do next. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How to financially prepare for retirement in your 60s when you've already done a great job saving. By the end of this video, I'll share one idea that can potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars in taxes, something most retirees never hear about. If you want practical, real-world financial advice that helps you retire confidently, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out in future videos. All right, so let me start off with a story. The couple who did everything right. A few months ago, I met with a couple, let's call them Mark and Susan. They're both in their early 60s, no debt, a modest home. They have about $1.3 million saved between their 401ks, IRAs, and a brokerage account. On paper, they are doing great, but they told me something I hear all the time. Vince, we thought we'd feel excited about retiring, but honestly, we're nervous. And that makes sense because when you shift from saving for retirement to living in retirement, where now you need to draw money from that portfolio, everything changes. You go from earning a paycheck to creating your own. And that's where the uncertainty creeps in. So let's talk about how to make the transition with clarity and confidence. Step one, create a written income plan. Now, it sounds a little bit cliche to say, but most people have no idea where they are starting for income in retirement. For 30 or 40 years, you've been in accumulation mode. Every paycheck, you save, you invest, repeat. But now it's time to flip the switch. Now it's about distribution, paying yourself in retirement. And that means building a written income plan, a real step-by-step plan that answers when will you start Social Security? Which accounts will you draw from first? How much can you safely spend? How will you handle taxes each year? Without this, you're guessing. And with it, you have clarity. When Mark and Susan saw their plan, the anxiety disappeared. They finally knew. Here's exactly how we'll get paid every month in retirement. Step two, sequence of returns trap. Even with a solid plan, timing matters. Let's say you retire and the market drops 20% right away. If you're pulling out money at the same time, you lock in those losses, and that can cause a long-term damage. That's called sequence of returns risk. Two retirees can earn the same average return over 20 years, but if one experiences the down years early, they can run out of money sooner. That's why I recommend what I call a retirement paycheck system. Here's how it works. You keep 1 to 2 years of income in cash or short-term bonds, another 5 to 10 years in balanced investments, and the rest in growth for long-term. When the market drops, you pull income from the safe buckets, not from the stocks. That gives you your growth. And the growth will grow over time and recover from any market downturn. Now, Mark and Susan love this. They said, we finally feel like the market doesn't control us anymore. Step three, smart tax planning. Now let's talk about one of the biggest opportunities people in their 60s overlook, tax planning. When you're working, your income and your taxes are pretty predictable. But in retirement, you can actually have control over how much tax you pay each year. Here's what I mean. Let's say you retire at 62. You're not taking Social Security yet. You're living off cash savings or investments. That might put you in a lower tax bracket. That's your window of opportunity. You can convert part of your IRA to a Roth IRA, paying taxes now while rates are low, so your future withdrawals are tax-free. When her required minimum distribution started, or RMDs, her taxable income was much lower. That strategy alone will likely save her over $100,000 in lifetime taxes. That's why tax planning in your 60s can be one of the most powerful tools you have. And the big idea, I promised the start ties directly into this. We'll get there soon. Step four, healthcare and Medicare planning. Next up, healthcare. It's one of the biggest concerns for retirees, and for good reason. Medicare isn't free. You'll pay for parts B and D, plus potential surcharges if your income is high. Here's something most people don't realize. Withdrawals from Roth IRAs don't count toward those Medicare income thresholds, but IRA withdrawals do. In fact, when they look at your Medicare premium surcharges, they don't look at your assets at all. They just look at your income. I worked with a couple, Tom and Rachel, who didn't know this. They sold a rental property one year and their income shot up. The next year, their Medicare premiums jumped by nearly $1,000 a month. That's why your tax and income plan should always connect to your healthcare plan. And if you're still working and have access to an HSA, a health savings account, use it. You get tax deductions going in, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals for medical expenses. That's a triple win. Step 5, investing for income and stability. Now let's talk about investing. When you're in your 30s and 40s, it's all about growth. But in your 60s, it's all about balance. You still need growth to keep up with inflation, but you also need stability so you can sleep good at night. That's where structure comes in. Think in 3 buckets: short-term, cash and conservative funds for 1 to 2 years, mid-term, bonds or balance funds for next 3 to 10 years, and long-term growth investments for 10 plus years. This way, you're never forced to sell at the wrong time. Now, another way you could set this up is by setting up a portfolio that gives you dividends and interest. If you have enough dividends and interest coming in, you don't need to sell any of the investments or the stocks or bonds to generate income. And another way to do this a little bit more simply is if you just set up a safe bucket and a growth bucket, and you just withdrew money out of the growth bucket when the market is up, and then you withdraw from the safe bucket when the market's down, allowing for the growth bucket to recover. A few different ways there, but it's generally going down the same path. Now, when markets dip, your income comes from the safer buckets. That gives your growth investments time to rebound. It's not about timing the market. It's about structuring your money so the market does not control your emotions. Step 6, legacy and lifestyle. Once your income, investments, and taxes are under control, you can focus on what really matters, your life. I once worked with a woman named Nancy. She told me, "Vince, I don't want to just leave money behind. I want to leave a legacy." For her, that meant setting up college funds for her grandkids and donating her favorite animal rescue. For others, it's about travel, volunteering, or helping their kids while they're still alive. The memories last longer than the money will. The key is your retirement plan should reflect your values, not just your numbers, because money without meaning isn't fulfillment. All right, so let's talk about the big idea, the retirement tax bridge. Here's how it works. Between the time you retire, say 60 or 62, and when you start your Social Security or required minimum distributions, you have a window. And if you started Social Security at 62, you can still do the strategy. During those years, your taxable income is usually the lowest it'll ever be, and that's your bridge. You can use that time to take money out of your IRAs or do Roth conversions at lower tax rates. You're filling up the lower brackets now to avoid higher taxes later. You're not dodging taxes, you're controlling them. You're paying the taxes at what you feel is comfortable for you. Combine that with smart Social Security timing and efficient investments, and you could save tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. In fact, when we do Roth conversion projections, we tend to find it can get up to the upwards of millions of dollars depending on how much money you have saved in your tax-deferred retirement accounts. That's the power of proactive planning. So let's bring it all together. Let's sum this up. If you're in your 60s and have saved well, here's your checklist. Create a written income plan. You know where every dollar comes from. Protect against market downturns with a structured bucket strategy or some investment strategy that can protect you from downturns so you don't grab into your investments emotionally. 3 is to use tax planning to your advantage, especially before required minimum distributions begin. 4, prepare for your healthcare costs and understand Medicare income rules. 5, invest with purpose, balancing growth and security. And 6, line your money with your values and lifetime goals. Because retirement isn't just about having enough money, it's about having a plan that gives you confidence, flexibility, and freedom. If this video helped you, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Each week, I share strategies to help you retire smarter, reduce taxes, and enjoy life. And if you're ready for a personal plan, you can schedule a free consultation with me or my team by going to the description and clicking on the link below. We'll help you create your income plan, optimize your taxes, and design your ideal retirement strategy. Because you've worked hard for your money, now it's time to make it work for you. Thanks for watching. and I'll see you in the next video.